Hey guys, Rob here with McDojoLife, and the man you just got done watching run over his student's hands like it was Wild Hogs 2 Revenge of the Sensei goes by the name of Master Ram Babu, but his Instagram handle is Karate Master 57. I find that name Karate Master very strange considering that his students wear Taekwondo uniforms and spar under Taekwondo rule sets, while he wears Taekwondo uniforms, Kung Fu uniforms, and tracksuits for some reason that looked like they were ripped straight out of an Italian mob boss's wardrobe.
Shut up!
Master Babu's school is located somewhere in Kurnool, India, but because his marketing is just as bad as his karate apparently, that was all I could find. I could find nothing about him, his background, or his martial arts school. But based on the hundreds of videos he's posted on his Instagram channel and his YouTube, one thing is very clear. This man should not be teaching martial arts to anyone, especially children. The videos I'm going to show you today from this man's martial arts facility are some of the most insanely dangerous demonstrations I have ever seen on this channel. And most of them have nothing to do with martial arts. Let's start with something that doesn't seem very dangerous, but is incredibly dangerous. You see, Master Babu here loves to use ceramic tiles as a part of his demonstrations. He has his students punch, kick, elbow, and headbutt these ceramic tiles as some sort of display of martial prowess. Now, sometimes when he does these demonstrations, he doesn't just have the kids punch and kick them. Sometimes he will hit them over the head with them, and from time to time even do an old school tombstone pile driver through them. Now let's touch on a few issues. First off, it's not that impressive that these kids are breaking these tiles. They're actually pretty fragile and easy to break. And secondly, the most important part of this is that when ceramic tiles are broken like that, they can become extremely sharp and cause serious injury to these kids. Keep in mind as these students are breaking these tiles that they're hitting them downward towards their bare feet. Not only is it dangerous for the students who are hitting the tiles, but it's also extremely dangerous for all the kids who are sitting around them. Watch this clip. But with as dangerous as that is, getting stabbed with flying, jagged shards of tile is the least of these kids' worries. You see, Master Babu seems to enjoy raising the stakes, making his demonstrations more and more dangerous as he goes. Take this next one, for example, where not only are they breaking those tiles, but he's soaked a string in gasoline and set it on fire and laid it on top of those tiles. Now, once again, this is something that seems not really all that dangerous. I mean, it's just a small string soaked in gasoline. What's the worst thing that could really happen, right? Of course, I guess there are risks. Like, one thing that could potentially happen is that string could fly off and land on a student, potentially burning them, like in this video. Now, you would think kids being hit with flying shards of sharp tile and nearly being set on fire would be the worst, but not even close. You see, Master Babu also enjoys using fluorescent light bulbs during his demonstrations. Sometimes during these demonstrations, of course always barefoot, the kids will kick through these light bulbs. I mean, what could possibly go wrong with tiny shards of broken glass being strewn all over the place where kids are barefoot? But as discussed before, the students performing these demonstrations aren't the only ones in danger. Consider the ones surrounding these kids who are doing this. But hey, it's just a few shards of glass in your eye, right? Can't be that bad. And why stop with having them just kick the light bulbs when it's so much more fun to just use the kids as some sort of batting practice? Did you notice something maybe a little strange coming out of those light bulbs as they exploded? Here, take a closer look and you'll notice that there's some kind of dust going all over the place after they break. But what could it be? That powder is a mixture of mercury and phosphor powder, which are both very toxic. But hey, clearly safety measures have been put in place. Just look at that tarp. But the fun with toxic fumes and broken glass doesn't stop there. The demos that he does with these light bulbs become WWE level insane. What the f*** does that have to do with martial arts at all? I'm sure by now you've probably noticed that this man likes doing martial arts demonstrations using a motorcycle. But after you run over kids' hands with a motorcycle and run through light bulbs with a motorcycle, where do you go from there? I guess the only thing you could really do is run the kids over with a motorcycle. But I have to say, out of all these ridiculously dangerous demonstrations that include broken glass, jagged tiles, toxic fumes, running over children with motorcycles, fire, WWE-style antics, the most dangerous thing that this guy does has to be allowing his kids to spar over concrete with no protective gear. As I say that, I'm sure that some of you out there are probably thinking to yourself, well, maybe they just can't afford the gear. No, that's bullshit. They clearly have it in multiple videos, and that gear definitely belongs to the martial arts school. And while they do use that sparring gear in some of their videos, the majority of their videos are kids sparring over concrete without protective gear. This is a surefire way to get a student killed. It's ridiculous and not necessary. It's happened time and time and time again where a student has hit the back of their head on concrete and died. Now, you would think with all of these dangerous and flashy demonstrations that at the very least, the kids would be having a good time. But they aren't. It's quite clear when you watch videos of the camera panning through the crowd that these kids are either bored, terrified, or absolutely hate it there. It's like watching an ASPCA commercial. In the arms of the angel. Time to give this guy some Dillmans. I typically reserve the 5 Dillmans for people who claim they have some sort of supernatural or psychic abilities, but with as dangerous as this is and the guarantee that kids are going to get hurt as they clearly already have been, this guy gets 5 out of 5 Dillmans. The only reasoning I could find behind why he does these types of demonstrations were located in the descriptions of his videos. He constantly talks about viral and trying to get more people to follow him. But I never truly see him try to explain what it is exactly this is going to do to benefit his students. Even stranger than that is he somehow tries to justify this by pretending that he is some type of an expert by adding captions to videos saying things like, "Don't try this without a master present," or something to the equivalent of that. Dude, you yourself probably have never truly done martial arts. I mean, I'm just baffled by him going, you know what would be really good for these kids kicking and punching? Let me crack them in the head with this fluorescent light bulb. You know what kick up this training a notch? Let me run them over with a motorcycle. That's gonna make them better. It seems this guy is way more concerned with views and being considered a master than he is at actually teaching his students anything of value that won't get them killed. This brings us to the question of the day, brought to you by X Marshall. Be sure to answer the question of the day in the comment sections below, so that way I know that you watched the entire video, but also to be entered for a chance to win a $100 gift voucher that you could use at xmarshall.com. And hey, let's say you don't win. That's okay. Use promo code McDojo10 upon purchase, and that way you can get 10% off any of your purchases at xmarshall.com. Martial arts demonstrations have been around for a very long time, and they're not going anywhere anytime soon. Fumio Demura was famous for his martial arts demonstrations, and if you go to Vegas, you can even watch an entire Cirque du Soleil show, which is just one long martial arts demonstration. But where do we draw the line with martial arts demonstrations? At what point are they just useless? At what point are they too dangerous? I want to know your thoughts. What do you think about martial arts demonstrations? Do you think they're good for martial arts? Do you think they're bad for martial arts? Do you think they have their place? Is there a line in which they're too dangerous? It's a very broad question, but I want to know your thoughts on them. As always, thank you all for the likes, comments, shares, subscriptions, memberships. Check out McDojoLife.com. keep the martial arts legit.
My baby got robbed the other day by degenerates. So she wanted to learn some new form of this self-defense. So she did her research and perused it online and found this dude said he could move shit with his mind. He call himself Seafood Paul Zimmerman. He got a dojo with a strip on the Cinnabon. Now she spends all day trying to